'Tis indeed our last equinox of 2021, so forgive me if I'm a little bit excited and I busted out the countdown clock. It will be here at 2:20 this afternoon, and that is Central Time right there, so we're about 2 hours and give or take 7 minutes away. What exactly, though, does the autumn equinox mean? Well, it's the beginning of what we call astronomical fall. Now, we've gotten to the point where we kind of mark our seasons more so by meteorological fall. Say September, October, November, you associate those being fall months. If I, for example, was to throw up December, you kind of associate that with being the winter. Well, astronomically, December is still part of it is still part of the fall. That's why we differentiate between meteorological, which runs from the first of a month to the last of a month for 3 months, and then we have to wait for the equinox when we officially do astronomical fall. And technically, it's when the sun crosses the celestial equator. It's a made-up line from north to south. And today, the southern hemisphere, of course, they're going to do the exact opposite of us. They're going to enjoy their spring equinox. Now we think of equinox, we know that means equal daylight, equal nighttime, right? Well, our daylight actually not split in half today. We're very, very close to that day. But on today, for September the 22nd, we're going to go 12 hours of daylight, and with 8 minutes on top of that. But if you really want to split hairs, wait until Saturday. That's when it's going to be 12 hours, 1 minute of daylight, and then it's equals about 11 hours, 58 minutes, and 57 seconds when it comes to the portion that we consider nighttime. So there we go. There's our equinox breakdown. It gives me an excuse to break out the logo with the leaves falling as well. Now let's talk about the way that we're going to start fall and how similar it is to the way that we wrapped up summer. Because if you go back and remember the previous 8 days that we had, they were scorchers. We were well above average, which should be around 80 degrees. The lowest we fell during that entire time period was only 85 until we hit yesterday. And what that cold front did was not only usher us in some much needed rain, but also too much cooler temperatures on the backside, thanks in part to a good high pressure system that moved off the Canadian border. So here's where we stand. We're still holding on to temperatures that are almost in the mid 60s right now. If you look at Lamar and Monette sitting at 67. Southeast Kansas, which was actually the coldest this morning, has now warmed up the fastest, all the way into the low 70s. Looks like 73 is our high number in Neodesha and Parsons. Miami and Pittsburgh both at 68. You see the wind arrows coming in, has picked up a little bit. Not as blustery as what it was yesterday. We'll eventually roll about 10 to 15 miles per hour this afternoon, but we'll be able to avoid those 25-mile-an-hour gusts that really made a difference when you stepped outside during the evening hours. Also, too, want to point out, look at where all the moisture is. It's on the eastern side of the Mississippi, almost to the point where when we get to the 7-day forecast, we're going to be wishing that we could have a little rainfall, but no, because what happened is as this thing moved in, brought us nothing but high pressure stretching from the Canadian border all the way down to the Rio Grande. All that low pressure just kind of ushered it off and said, you got to go toward the northeast coast. And so you can tell that layer right there includes cloud cover and includes precipitation, and there is not a drop nor a cloud on it. Thought this was pretty interesting here this morning when I noticed what had happened with the low pressure system. Watch how the cold air dives from Canada, but then as soon as it gets to the Gulf, it's not one of those where it takes a gradual meandering for the trough. This thing almost completes a V shape right there. And that's why they've got a chance for some severe thunderstorm activity ranging from western Ohio into eastern Pennsylvania and just a portion of northern West Virginia as well. Speaking of severe weather, let's make a tropical run. Peter, now well off the coast of Puerto Rico, so that's good news. Actually, no longer a tropical storm, now a tropical depression, as is Rose. But here's the one we're eyeballing right here, just south of Rose, coming off the coast of Africa. Here in the next day, if it takes 2 days, I'm going to be shocked. That's going to be Tropical Storm Sam, and so that will be the next one that we talk about as far as our named Atlantic Basin storms go. So as we get ready to officially call it the beginning of fall this afternoon, I think everybody's going to see some 70s. I don't think we'll see many people hold on to the 60s. But then overnight, get ready once again for that to drop down into the 40s. Woohoo! Yeah, hello, first night of fall. But then, Chris, look at this. We're going to replace fall-like temperatures with summer-like temperatures and go right back into the 90s by the time we get to the weekend.
Yeah, no, that's about the way it should go, though, isn't it? I mean, that's...
No shocker.
No, not at
shocker.
all. I mean, right now, because we're still in September.
Right.
And even into October, we can still have some toasty
early into
days.
mid-October, we know we're going to see a smattering of high 80s and 90s pop up every now and then.
And then all of a sudden, it's going to tank, and it's going to be cold, and it's going to, and that's the thing, is it's going to switch immediately from fall to winter.
I know. And that's the day that I always do laundry, and my long underwear are not in the dryer, and I'm like, no, con!
You know, it's funny, I was thinking of Star Trek because of Equinox. There was one in Voyager. So that's all I think
There
about.
you go.
Is that
And
particular
folks, we did not even
episode.
plan that out right there.
So there we go. There we go. Michael, thank you.